Fertiliser and its application represent a significant cost to horticultural producers. The Queensland turf industry is working to improve its use of fertiliser by trialling innovative ways to apply and manage nitrogen. With funding through the Queensland Government Healthy Waterways strategy, the turf industry is partnering with the Department of Agriculture, Fisheries and Forestry to test new cost-effective practices. Turf Queensland is the industry peak body. CEO Jim Vaughan explains more about the industry and its value to Queensland.
Currently, Turf Queensland has 143 turf farmers across the state, stretching from Cairns in the north down to the border and out to Goondiwindi, Toowoomba and Emerald in the west. We produce 17 million square metres of natural turf grass per annum in this state. We have 1,200 full-time employees, which balloons out in the summer and spring months. The key markets for the turf industry in this state line up with the pillar industries of building and construction, tourism, sport and recreation, the environment. The challenge for the industry centres around quality supply to the end user, productivity gains, benchmarking to world's best practice, and of course the environmental concerns of the marketplace.
Turf Queensland grower member Anthony Heilig runs a family farm located at the mouth of Coochin Creek on the Pumice-Stone Passage in southeast Queensland. As a second-generation farmer and local family businessman, Anthony is always striving to improve his farming operations. He understands that managing a farming business sustainably means maximising his profits while minimising any environmental impacts. Anthony believes that controlling both the amount and timing of fertiliser imports is important, so he's trialling a technique called fertigation.
I was born at Caloundra Hospital, so I've sort of lived in the area all my life. We used to farm a glasshouse. We've farmed lots of different small crops over the years and sugarcane as well. When the sugarcane finished up, we went into turf farming. We've been doing turf now for 10 to 12 years. We approximately grow about 250 acres plus of grass, which relates to about 1 million square metres a year in product out the door. We currently have 7 full-time employees on the property, as well as half a dozen contractors for laying our product. I work with my father on the farm, my wife, uncle, 2 sons and a good mate helps manage the place as well. Some of the challenges of turf farming in the area where we are here is weather with our high rainfall. Because we are so close to the Pumice-Stone Passage, we've got about 11 kilometres of Pumice-Stone Passage frontage here, which is a Ramsar wetland as well, so we're always concerned about the possibility of leaching and runoff into the passage.
Often, solid or granular fertiliser side dressings are timed to suit management constraints, rather than the actual requirements of the crop. Most growers have experienced the dilemma of spreading fertiliser before heavy rain, and then wondering how much of that fertiliser has either been washed from the crop in runoff or leached below the root zone. Fertigation is the technique of supplying dissolved fertiliser to crops through an irrigation system. When combined with an efficient irrigation system, both nutrients and water can be manipulated and managed to obtain the maximum possible yield, while minimising any losses of both water and fertiliser. Frequent small applications of soluble nutrients via fertigation can overcome these problems. It can also save labour and distribute nutrients more uniformly. Irrigation consultant Pat Daly explains fertigation and the equipment that is being trialled at Anthony's farm.
If you can manage the nutrients more precisely, you'll get more bang for your buck from water and energy. Now there's a number of different fertigation units that we could use for this application, but this one by far is the most portable. It can be put on a pallet as we've got here and shifted to anywhere in the field, so it's not restrained just to a pump site. You can operate it through remote computers off an iPhone. Anthony runs a boom irrigator here and he's got a proposed lateral irrigator which ties in ideally with this type of system. Nutrients just come straight out of a 1,000 litre shuttle. It has a range anywhere between 5 litres an hour and 300 litres an hour, which is pretty much where the range that we wouldn't exceed that sort of range on turf. The other thing with this unit is that it is a solar operated unit through a battery, and that's what makes it so portable. And if you put it on a pallet, as I said, you can shift it anywhere. We can also set it up on pulse water meters where we've got it completely proportional, and it takes some of that calculation out of your hands. It also probably encourages people to go and have samples done more often, because when they start to see the savings in more precise fertigation to the crop needs or the turf needs, they then start to think about going and do a more regular test on whether or not they need that NP and K and how much they need.
In order to better understand the differences between manually applied fertiliser and fertigation, an important part of the trial includes monitoring a range of soil parameters. Shane Holborn of Bioscience Australia is assisting with the monitoring program.
Our role in the project is to do some of the on-the-ground monitoring and data collection. So we started off by doing some soil sampling across the whole site to try and identify the appropriate areas where we should put our monitoring equipment. Then we've installed some of the soil spec tubes, some Solu sampler tubes, as well as some EnviroScan equipment. And between those two, we should get a good picture of what's happening with the nutrient and water movement across the site. And hopefully, over time, once we get a good idea of what's happening, we'll be able to tweak the practices on farm to try and adjust what's happening and reduce runoff, reduce a bit of fertiliser use, or change the way they apply the fertiliser.
Through programs such as the Healthy Waterways project that we've got here, we believe that the outcomes for sustainability and growth and the knowledge for efficiency gains and other areas surrounding water, soils, runoff, leaching, all of these things are extremely important to Turf Queensland.
While this work on Anthony's farm is important for the Palmerston region, it has also attracted interest from turf producers across Queensland and interstate. Turf Queensland believes that projects such as this are a great opportunity for the industry to improve farm profitability, while demonstrating that the industry is responding to emerging environmental issues.
I believe that fertigation should help manage our nutrients a lot better, more effective way of putting out and producing our turf. It'll also, I believe, hopefully reduce our environmental issues that we might have with leaching and runoff purposes in flood events. Like if we use hard fertilisers and get a storm this afternoon, we're pretty much in trouble. With this machine, we believe we can put little bits on more often and it'll be more effective.